Welcome to A New View. This week is Holy Week, and so many people are in the preparation of either reflecting. A lot of places get time off. Not so much maybe anymore, but I know years ago I worked for a company and we got the whole Holy Week off, which was really nice.
Cool.
But I don't think so many people do that. It's not as recognized, but this is what we call Holy Week, and it's in preparation of Easter Sunday. And so we want to talk about today Easter.
Yay! I forgot I was gonna wear bunny ears.
Oh yeah.
To have fun because it's Easter and we're like we're all not like about the bunny, but we kind of are. But
Yes.
we know it's not about the bunny.
Yes, we know it's not about the bunny. So right now, today, we want to just share with you kind of some of our traditions. And this is not for us. We don't want to break down the doctrines. We don't want to break down, because I know that some people, go by the Hebrew and they're like, well, this is not classically when the resurrection happened. But in Holy Week, you see the things that say all the time that the worst day and the best day are 3 days apart.
That's
so really
powerful.
it's leading up to that, Good Friday. They call it Good Friday, but it was not a pretty sight. They crucified Jesus, but Sunday's a coming. 3 days later, he was resurrected, and because he walked out of the grave, we can too.
That's right.
With whatever we're dealing with.
That's right. That's what I think about with Easter. Like, of course, all the fun stuff. Like, we love the eggs and the candy and the bunny ears and the bunny and just hunting and all that. I know we're going to talk about our traditions, but I love that. I think that's so fun. But when we think about Easter too, like the serious part of it, I think of what you're talking about, the resurrection of Jesus and the resurrection power of Jesus. And just that, I feel like I didn't really learn that until it's been several years now, but at our church, our pastor talked a lot about the resurrection power and how the same power that raised Jesus from the grave is still apparent and readily available for all of us.
Exactly.
In every area of our life. We can have a resurrection and experience the power of his resurrection in our life. And just, I think about, for me, it's been through being able to give up alcohol, through having just a better marriage, like God resurrecting my marriage, and even in my health. And he's constantly having to do that with me, but it gives me hope,
yes.
Absolutely.
And that's where I think the hope of the 3 days, because some people are celebrating Friday. Some churches in the western parts of the world, they celebrate Tenebrae, which is actually, Tenebrae is a Latin word for darkness. And it's a religious service, it says, in Western Christianity, and it consists of the Matins and the Lauds, or Matins and the Lauds, I'm not exactly, and it's the last 3 days of Holy Week, which is Maundy, Thursday, Good Friday, and Holy Saturday. I'm butchering that all up, sorry y'all. Celebrated on the evening of the previous day, and then they kind of extinguish candles. And I've been in a church setting where they do that. And there's a lot of people that will practice a lot of different things on Holy Week. And then I also want to give y'all a new view, because if you're not just in church and you're not just serving and that's what you do, it's okay. You don't have to feel guilty, because for a lot of time we served in church. We did that, and a few years ago my mother-in-law had some health issues, and actually she became sick on Good Friday, and it was kind of touch and go that whole weekend. And then she woke up Sunday morning. So I like to pick at Granny and say, you woke up just like Jesus on Resurrection Sunday. But my mother-in-law loves spring. She loves her garden. Easter is her favorite time of year. And so even though we know it's not all about the bunny, we celebrate by hunting eggs. Absolutely. And it doesn't matter if you're, now the youngest grandchildren are 18 or you're 60 years old, you're going to hunt eggs. We're not worshiping the God of fertility. We know all of those things, but we just want to encourage you that this is a great week to reflect on all of the sacrifice that God's done for us, giving his only son, the sadness of his crucifixion, but the hope of Sunday coming and the resurrection power that's available to us. But we hunt eggs in my family, and it's okay if you do that. I think that it's whatever is fueling you, because sometimes maybe God's not asking you to go serve. He's asking you to honor your mother-in-law that's 91, and it's, letting her show you the beauty of her garden and her things, and cooking a meal together and celebrating.
Being a part of the joy she experiences watching all the grandkids and kids of varying ages hunt eggs in her garden.
Yeah.
And it's funny now because she hunts them now. We hide them because she's gotten older. So it's like she's referring back to the kids, and we're like, okay, here's your bag, Granny. And we will hide them, and she hunts. And so it's changed, and I don't feel guilty about it.
Good.
Yeah. What about you, Kim? What do you guys
Mine's
do?
changed a lot too. I remember as a kid, you dress in white as if you're going to your wedding, and you go on Easter, and and you present. And then as a younger adult, when I had a million, not a million, I had a couple kids, and I never got to see them hunt eggs when they were little because I was always running the church event. I was doing the outreach, I'm constantly busy, and that's not fun. I mean, it was nice. I enjoyed that for them, but not for my own family. It wasn't, wasn't quite right. So now, honestly, it's so downscaled. It's really about staying home, probably decorating eggs, and that's probably the biggest joy that my family gets is decorating eggs together and just play games and have a meal and enjoy each other. But what I keep coming to, I loved, there was something both of you said, whatever is crucifying you right now, whatever you're going through, this is a season for you. You look at it and you go, you know what Jesus went through. 3 days later, maybe it's coming for you in 3 days. Maybe that glory is coming in 3 days. I don't know how many days it's going to be, but it's coming. This is a season to remember. Jesus came here to show us how to behave, and the more we try to behave that way, he's still here. And he was crucified, but he ascended, and there's joy, and it's coming for you too.
The hope. Right. I love that saying that says Sunday's a coming.
Yeah, it definitely reminds me of hope, for sure.
Yes, definitely.
And if we don't have that, guys, we're lost.
Yes.
We really are.
Yes,
we're floundering. So I'm thankful that Easter is a good, fun reminder.
It's about a bunny, not a flounder. So we
I
gotta
know,
focus.
Right.
I love it.
Right. But too, a lot of churches will be doing the Stations of the Cross. I think they do that at Easter. They'll be doing, some of the Tenebrae services. There'll be a lot of churches out there that will be doing a big Easter Sunday celebration for all you Creasters out there that only go to church at Christmas and Easter, which, hey, if that's what you do,
raising their hand?
if that's what you do, that's what you do. But we just want to also encourage you, that's not always a good representation of how that church does things, because again, lots of churches in the Western world, they do a big production because they know that that's the only time some people come in the door. But we want you to, if that's what you're doing, if that's what you're dressing up, if that's what is speaking to your heart, we want you to do what God tells you to do. Honor God the way he tells you to do it. Don't get so worked up trying to do it like everybody else. Don't go out there and if you feel pressured that you have to buy all new outfits for all your kids and yourself and you have to look a certain way, that's really out of guilt. But if that's something that you love and that you know that that's something you celebrate, go out and buy that pretty Easter outfit. Go out there and dress your whole family in it, If it's about going to church and serving and to really bringing the lost, if it's inviting your friends and your family to church, then do that. We want you to do whatever it is that God's calling you to do. But we don't want you to get hung up and be like, it's not all about the bunny, but don't kind of, I guess,
Don't bash
the people that do like to celebrate. And it's not, again, we're not celebrating the pagan god of fertility. We're not doing that. We're taking some traditions and we're removing kind of the religious things out of it, and we're choosing to celebrate those fun things with our children.
Choosing joy, not judgment.
Yeah. Anything else y'all can think of like for Easter to encourage people?
I think we got it.
Well, we hope that you all have a wonderful Easter, a wonderful Holy Week. We hope that you will come share your view of a new view, and we hope that you will just really be able to find, like Kim said, whatever you're going through. It may feel like your darkest day right now, but Sunday's coming. The hope of the resurrection power of Christ is coming, because guess what? He's not in the grave. He has risen, for he has risen indeed. So that means you can walk out of your grave too. Be encouraged and take care. Happy Easter.